And welcome to the final part of the Megaman 1 Let's Play, and we are in the second level of the Wily Fortress. And as you'll notice with this screen here, your special weapons do not refill their ammunition after you've completed one of the Wily levels, which is, I don't mind this part of the Wily Fortresses. This is a staple in all the Megaman games, so if you hate this, well then that's just gonna be a thing the whole time. But it makes, like, managing your weapon energy something of a priority, because you can't just spam, like, the Elect Beam a billion times. I mean, you can still spam it quite a bit, let's be honest. But anyway, we have the rematch. You will have a rematch with every single Robot Master at one point or another within the Wily Fortress. And we have Cutman. I misspoke. Apologies. But anyway, he's weak to Gutsman special weapon, but we don't have the blocks to actually use that one, so we can't really use it. So that makes his weapon even more useless. Yay! But whatever, he's easy enough even with the Mega Buster. Anyway, for these little energy pellet things, I always like using the magnet beam to get them, even though I had to spend a little bit of ammunition to get them. I came out with a net profit, so it's like whatever. Anyway, for the second part of this, we have Man. I'm not using the Mega Buster that time because I have a harder time pulling off the lock that I established in the last episode in this room. I don't know why, I have a very hard time doing it. Maybe the AI is slightly different in the rematch, to where it doesn't work. I don't know, but it's like if you use Cutsman's weapon, he's more than easy enough. Now this room. This room, if you just stay with the Mega Buster, you can get through it, but it's kind of tedious. So I just like cheesing it with the Elect Beam. Get the job done, that's all I care about. Good old efficiency. Anyway, the spikes are one-hit kill, so keep that in mind. Even if you touch them from the side, they will still one-shot you. Get to the right and just spam the Elect Beam, and that will kill all of them, and you don't have to worry about it, even without taking any damage. You probably want to refill your ammunition for whatever's really low with this big one, because it refills a lot. I think it's like a third of your ammo. So yeah. And Elect Beam takes care of these dudes. I hope you recognize a recurring theme here, because that's kind of how Megaman 1 operates. Anyway, we have the boss of this level, which is, some people might argue, the hardest boss in the game. It really depends. It's the Copy Mega Man, and he will use whatever special weapon you use, and he will use it against you. His AI, I've never been able to get a proper read on it. It seems very chaotic and random. But for this, I just prefer to go with the fire weapon. Fireman's weapon, that is. Because you have an extra shield around you, and sometimes he will walk into it. And that's some extra damage you can deal to him. It's still pretty hard regardless. But I got him just the same. If you do die against him, you won't your ammo will still be the same as it was when you died, so keep that in mind. He's very beatable with just the Mega Buster, so if you're forced in that position, don't freak out, but it's definitely a lot harder. Anyway, we have the third level of the Wily Fortress, and I really like this piece of music. It's slow, but it has a nice build up to it, some pretty good percussion, at least as good as the NES can provide. It's kind of limited by the technical specifications of the NES. In this room, we have some weird blue liquid that will automatically push us forward no matter what, and so we have to avoid a lot of enemies. You will want to go through this room with as much health as you possibly can, because unlike later Mega Man games, there are no E-tanks, so you have to do it one shot. Well, you won't have to do the whole level, but I don't think so. Anyway, they start throwing shark bombs at you, but those are easy enough to avoid. Make sure you have full Gutsman ammunition, but I would not switch to Gutsman right yet. The reason is, the boss here starts off really slow, and it's perfectly reasonable just to defeat the early copies of it with the Mega Buster. The thing is, for each one you kill, it gets faster and faster and faster, and it's harder to keep up with it. I mean, the pattern's pretty static. It doesn't really have a complicated pattern. It goes so fast it can feel that way. So once it's about half health, I start pulling up Gutsman's weapon, and then I just let it have it. And that's some weird glitch where you can get an extra copy of a block. I don't know exactly how it works, but yay. It's not terribly relevant either way. I still had him dead, even if I didn't pull that off. Now we have the final level of the game. It still plays the same music from the last level, which I appreciate, because the last level is really short. And I would have hated it if this great piece of music didn't get to be played, because of how short the last level was. Anyway, those things, you can kill them with a Mega Buster, like I did, but it takes some pretty specific timing, but it is worth it if you can do it. Anyway, I'm taking out the middle block and trying to get that ammunition up there. I'm prioritizing the fireman's weapon because of one of the final bosses is weak to that. So we will get a full refill of everything before we fight them. But so yeah. You can definitely use the elect beam in this section. It is better. I just felt like going with the fire weapon just because. One less hurrah. And with this, you're supposed to wait on a platform, but I have the magnet beam, so I don't really have to. Anyway, this little thing here will full health and full ammunition and everything. So you can go into this little boss gauntlet coming up fully prepared. And from what I understand, that thing is supposed to be from some other Capcom game. I don't know what, but anyway, since we're at full ammunition, we have no reason not to use Bomb Man's weakness, which is the fire weapon we get from Fireman, and he goes down insanely fast. In this part, you want to keep as much health as you possibly can, because you really won't get a health refill for the final boss, which is unfortunate, but that's just how Mega Man 1 rolls. And this is why people like 2 and 3 better. Anyway, Ice Weapon kills Fireman pretty fast. And this time I'm not screwing around with the Mega Buster, I just want Iceman dead. The longer this goes on, the worse it gets for me. And he's down. And finally, Gutsman. And I usually have more trouble with Gutsman than most people do. I don't know, I never found him easy. Anyway, the Bomb Man's weapon definitely deals the most damage to him, but it's really awkward to use, but it does work. Unfortunately, sometimes you get, his AI does stuff like this, where it makes it really hard to hit him with it. But anyway, he's down for the count, and we're done with the boss gauntlet, but now we just have to get ready for the final boss of the game. And it's definitely not easy. Obviously, it's no Wily capsule for Mega Man 7. God forbid. Anyway, we want to switch to the fire weapon, because that's what the first form of this final boss is weak to. And you definitely just want to take it out as quickly as you can, especially if you're like me and you're at low health at this point. Yeah, you see how fast it just whittles down his health? It's basically down to nothing. Okay, this time around we want Elect Beam. The way to avoid that energy ball that Wily shoots out at you is to be like, in my experience, to be slightly in front of the nose of the machine. That usually does the trick. It sets up to where you can move around and maneuver around and dodge the energy ball. On the other hand, it does deal a lot of damage, so I wouldn't dawdle, like, at all. It's not terribly hard as long as you have, like, enough ammunition for proper weapons. I'm guessing it's possible to make a Buster the guy, but as long as you just keep it up and don't do anything stupid, you can beat him just fine. And the first of many, many times Wily will be pleading for forgiveness. And yet somehow Megaman always gives it to him. I mean, it never occurred to him to, like, throw Wily in prison or a mental asylum or some other way that a menace to society can be removed. No, that makes too much sense. And that's it for Mega Man 1. It's kind of a short LP, but, you know, it's Mega Man 1. It's a classic. A classic in the sense of its age. As far as ranking Mega Man games in the classic series goes, I definitely prefer 2 and 3. 1's around the same area as 6. I think it's good, but it's better has been done. I actually would prefer 7 to this. I know it's a controversial opinion, but I do like this game more than 4 and 5, and probably more than 9 and 10. I'm not the biggest fan of those games. Yeah, I know, more controversial opinions, blah blah blah. As far as plans for other Mega Man games, 2 and 3 are on the table, but I wouldn't necessarily say anytime soon. I mean, I'm not exactly the fastest at recording games, so... But I have an idea for a project, and hopefully that means I can get it out in, you know, within a year or so, or some crazy hiatus. Anyway, this has been Let's Play Mega Man, and I am signing off. Have a nice day.